the romance. The romance. I've been filming for 23 minutes and I've only answered 2 questions. That's a little bit concerning. It was pointless. It was a waste of time. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and judging by the title, today we are doing a mid-year reading tag and I'm so excited to do it. I feel like every video I say, oh, I'm so excited, but this one I'm actually really excited for because it's my first one on the channel and I don't know why, it just, you know, I love that. And I always love like watching these type of videos and like the end year one and everything, so I'm really excited for this one. So if you do not know what the mid-year tag is, it's basically a set of questions that are like your favourite book of the year so far, a book that made you cry, the worst book you've read, blah blah blah. I think there's about like 15 questions maybe. I don't know who actually wrote the set of questions. It's just like the set that everyone uses now. So I'll try and find out who, and I'll put the questions in the description and the person who made them if I can find it. And then you can do it for yourself as well. Also guys, my boyfriend took me to a surprise date to the Deep, which is an aquarium, because I said I wanted to go to an aquarium this year. It's like I do like a yearly bucket list, and that was on my bucket list. So he surprised me to the Deep and I got this cute mug from the like gift shop there. It's an axolotl. It's a pink axolotl, guys. So cute, I love it. So I've got a cup of tea. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my new mug, but now let's actually get into the video. One more thing that I forgot to say is we are not going to be using the same book for like several questions. So for example, my favourite book will likely apply to a lot of the questions, and I don't just want to be saying the same book every single time. So I'm going to be doing a different book for each question. So the first question is best book you've read so far in 2026. So let me just get them. We have the Prison Healer trilogy, and I'm not picking a specific book because I gave each of them a 6-star. So if I had to pick one, I think I would have to go, it's either the Prison Healer or the Blood Traitor, but I think the Blood Traitor just tips it over the edge because it was so good and there was so many good scenes in this one. But yeah, so this is the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni. These are the Fairy Loot editions. I have the regular paperbacks, and then after I finished it, I immediately put them in my God tier list, and I was like, I need a special edition of these because I like to collect the editions of like my favorites. And I went on Vinted and I found the Fairy Loot editions, and I got them all for under £15, which I personally is pretty good. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of the editions and then I'll actually talk a bit about the book. So this is the first one, and the person who sent it put it in this like protective like case as well, which is pretty cool. Just ignore the tape that's keeping the case in place. I don't know if you can see the art. The cover, guys, so cool. This one, I feel like it makes him seem like he's brunette there, but he's actually blonde, but I feel like it makes him seem like brunette. That's the only thing that bothers me, but I suppose it'd be kind of hard to, you know, do that. And then it's got these stained edges and like this design, and it is also signed by the author. Then we have the Gilded Cage. It is green this time with the dagger. The art underneath isn't really spoiler, so I'm going to show you guys anyway. Then the foiling under this one, oh my god, it's such a pretty cover. Look at that. I meant to say colour, not cover. So pretty. And then the final one is the Blood Traitor, and this has blue stained edges with these rings on the side. And oh wait, this one's also signed. I didn't know this one was signed. Anyways, this is dark blue cover. The second one isn't signed, and I didn't realise that this one was either, but it is. So that's really cool. I'm like so happy with them. I love them. This follows Kiva, and she is a prisoner at the Zalandov prison. Now this prison is a death sentence. You will not survive. It is torture, it is horrible. it's bad. And Kiva has managed to survive for 10 years in this prison by being the prison healer, hence the title. And then there is a other inmate that comes in who piques her interest, and he's kind of interested in her. So obviously we have, you know, the development of that, and he's called Jaren. And then we have the rebel queen who is brought into the prison, and she's like on her deathbed basically. And the rebels from outside of the prison send a message to Kiva saying, do not let her die, we are coming. So now Kiva is trying to keep this rebel queen alive so that she can get out of the prison as well. Like, she sees that as her way to leave the prison. But then the rebel queen is ordered to the trial of ordeals, which is basically 4 trials. Now Kiva knows that the prison, the rebel queen is in no shape to perform these trials. So Kiva offers up herself as the rebel queen's champion and does these trials by herself. So that is not a spoiler, that is literally all on the back, or like literally introduced in the first pages. So don't worry. So that is the first book, and then obviously it develops from there. So good. It is so good. I absolutely loved her writing. The plot was super good. I thought it was fast paced. There's plenty going on, like thoroughly entertaining throughout all 3 books. The characters, oh my gosh. So like I've talked about this before when I did my reading wrap up when I read these in the month, and I was saying how I love a lot of characters. Like I like, let's pick a book. The Knight and the Moth. I love Sybil. I love Rory. Yeah, I really liked him. It was a 5-star. I really, really loved them. But then when I look at characters like Aelin and Rhysand and Feyre and Cassie and Azriel, like them kind of characters where you are obsessed with them, like they're a set of characters that like stick with you. I feel like I haven't read a series that has characters that have really properly like stuck with me. These characters have. They're like Jaren, Kiva, Tip, Colin. I don't want to say too many because there will be kind of some spoilers with who I say. The set of characters I loved. The found family. If you love a found family trope, this series is so good for it. There's lots of plot twists. Like the plot twist in this is insane. I did not see a lot of them coming, and one of them in the first book, I was reading it, right? I was reading it next to my boyfriend, we're chilling, yeah. I literally sit up and literally gasp so loud, and he's like, what's happened? And I was just like, oh, nothing, just happened in my book, and just like absolutely flabbergasted me. So yeah, that's how good the plot twists were. I didn't see it coming personally. The romance. The romance. So good, guys, so good. I know I keep saying so good, but like I don't know how else to describe it. It is just amazing. Like the yearning, sorry, really odd sound just happened. The yearning in this one, I saw a Goodreads review, and someone said that the romance is insta lust and like insta romance. I don't know what book they read, but I personally did not get them vibes. They are not even together until like the end of the second one. You could really argue not even that, like the third one. So it's definitely not, there's definitely feelings, there's definitely a building up of romance, but it's definitely not insta romance. It is definitely not. Of course, they're both intrigued by each other, but it's not insta love or insta romance. So do not go into it thinking that, because it's not. It was the best build up and progress of it. The third one I think is my favorite because there is a certain thing that happens. I'm just going to say one word: confession. If you've read it, you will understand, but that's all I'm going to say. And that scene, whoo, so good, so good. I'm going to stop speaking about it now because could go on forever. But if you haven't read these already, read them. That calls for a sip. I feel like I just talked so long. Second question is the worst book I've read so far in 2026. And that is Fearful by Lauren Roberts. So this is the final novella in the Powerless series. So if you haven't heard of this series, it's very, very popular. It is Powerless, Powerful, Reckless, Fearless, Fearful. Powerful and Fearful are novellas from different POVs of characters in the main trilogy. Now, I wasn't really a fan of Powerless, which is very unpopular because people are obsessed with it. I personally, I enjoyed the first one. It was okay. Was it like stand out, amazing? No. The second one I felt was very fillery. Like the two characters just like ran around the city together and I just got a bit bored. And then the third one I only read because I wanted to finish the series, like the trilogy. I wasn't really invested in it at that point. And yeah, so it was a very average series for me personally. And obviously there was a lot of controversy around the Powerless Red Queen similarities, which I will be honest, it is very, very similar, but you know, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Yeah, I just felt like it was pointless, to be quite honest. It was pointless. It was a waste of time. Luckily, it only took me like what? Oh my gosh. That is where that bookmark is. So I have lost several bookmarks, right? I don't know where they've gone. And then I filmed another video yesterday and I picked up a book and I realised one of the bookmarks was still left in that book. And now this one, my cute little frog magnet, it was stuck in this one as well. So basically, it follows Mara, and Mara is deaf. Like, she's literally deaf. She takes souls after they've died. She basically follows Kit around, has a few conversations with him during the timeline of Fearless, so it's not really any new information. Then she stalks Lenny and Blair, who are having a little bit of a romance. And that's it. That's literally it. There was no point to the story whatsoever. The ending was like, felt really rushed and weird. There was something going on between Mara and Kit. And then all of a sudden, like, Mara was fuming. And then I don't know what happened. In all honesty, I really don't understand what happened. But the ending was crazy. It was weird. I didn't understand it, and I feel like it left me with more questions than questions answered. And yeah, there was no point. There was literally 0 point in this book being a thing. But I wanted to complete the series, so yeah. I've been filming for 23 minutes and I've only answered 2 questions. That's a little bit concerning. Okay, I'm gonna try not to talk so much. I think I lose track of time when I'm talking about books. I literally just, yeah. It was that first, The Prison Healer, yeah. Anyway, best sequel you've read so far in 2026. Okay, if you haven't already seen the video, I did a reading vlog finishing this series. So I read House of Sky and Breath and House of Flame and Shadow. So if you haven't watched that, please go watch that video after this video, because I really enjoyed filming it. I loved filming the reactions for you guys and putting it all together. It was so fun. Yeah, this was definitely the best sequel I've read so far. I gave it a 4.5. But if you don't know what this series is, it is the Crescent City trilogy. This is the same author who wrote ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. I personally love ACOTAR Throne of Glass. Like, I know they get a lot of hate and people do not like that series, and like Sarah J Maas's writing, but I personally love them, so that's just me. So I wanted to read these because ACOTAR 6 and 7 got announced this year, and I wanted to go into ACOTAR 6 having read all of her books. And so these were the final 2 I needed to read before I went into that. The reason it got 4.5 instead of a full 5 is they are very chunky books. Every one is over 800 pages. So they are very intimidating. I feel like if you are going to start this, it's quite intimidating, but they're definitely worth it. So I find the start a little bit slow. Entertaining, crazy, like mind-boggling, but a little bit slow. But then the last 300 pages are insane. Like, literally things going off everywhere. every character POV has a plot twist. There is insane, like insane things going on. If you watch the video, there is multiple times where I gasp. I'm like in like actual pure shock of some of the twists that happened in this one. That was so dramatic, I know. The final twist in this one, speechless, because I did not see it coming from a mile away. I think it's definitely one of the best plot twists I have ever read in a book. I definitely would say Crescent City is my least favourite series out of the ones she's brought out, but I think that's mainly as well because this is an urban fantasy, so it's like modern things like phones and like weapons and stuff like that, but then you still have the aspect of like magical beings and fays and powers and stuff. But I definitely prefer like just regular fantasy rather than urban fantasy, and I feel like that's one of the main factors that like brings it down for me, but that's just like preference, not really the book itself. Next is worst sequel you've read so far. I suppose this isn't really a sequel because it's the third one in the series, but I don't know, is it still considered a sequel? I don't know, but there wasn't any other sequels I've read that I could say is the worst because they've all been good. So this was the only option I really had, and this is the third book in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Kerry Maniscalco. So this is Kingdom of the Feared. I just want to say the foiling is pretty cool. I pre-ordered it when I read this series. I read it in like 2021. This came out in 2022. I pre-ordered it, so I got it like straight away, and then I didn't read it until 2026 of this year. So it's been on my shelf for a long time, and it was my goal this year to bring down some of my physical TBR, and more specifically books that have been on my shelf for years. So of course this has been on my shelf for like 3-4 years. The series is very average for me personally. I think the first one's okay, but the second and third one, like, they're just okay. They're good, but I don't know if it's like her writing that I just don't get along with. I wasn't like very entertained. Like, the romance is okay, but again, I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not obsessed with the characters or the plot. And I also thought the conflict was like incredibly built up, and then it lacked when it actually came to the end of it. And like the plot twists and stuff I weren't really bothered by or shocked by. So yeah, it was a bit like, and I think also the thing is, like, I did wait 4 years to read the ending of it, so I mostly just wasn't as invested in it. I feel like as well this is more of like a younger kind, I don't know. I started reading this obviously 2021, so I was most probably like 14. I'd been like 14, 15, so I was a lot younger when I read this, so I just don't think I was invested in it or bothered by it. I'd kind of moved on from it, but I wanted to finish it. So yeah, I think I gave it like a 3. It was okay. It wasn't like bad. I just think it's a very average fantasy series, and I personally wouldn't really recommend it. Next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. There is one that I am planning on buying very, very soon, potentially in the next 2 weeks, and that is Starside by Alex Aster. Obviously, she released, Lightlark, like that series. I was never interested in it because I know the love triangle is very prevalent within the series. Like, it's throughout several books. And if there's one thing about me, is I hate love triangles with every fibre of my being. I don't think I've read any love triangles that I've actually enjoyed, but what I mean is like true love triangles. Like, not the books where you have a love interest that is obviously not going to be the love interest, and then there's the other guy that is very clear. Like, for example, This Woven Kingdom. I don't mind those ones because it's very clear who she's going to be with, but I don't like love triangles where it is genuinely a proper love triangle. It irritates me. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So that is something I will never ever read. But Starside got released, and the synopsis sounds amazing, first of all. Like, it very, very interests me. That doesn't make sense. It's very interesting to me. And then also all the reviews that have come after the release, it sounds amazing. Everyone is raving about it, and I really want to read it, even though I think it's gonna be like 4 or 5 books in total. I'm gonna read it, and I'll have to just wait because it sounds amazing. And I'm going to London in 2 weeks, and I'm hopefully going to be going to the Waterstones there, the 6th floor Waterstones. It's very dangerous, that shop, and I'm planning on buying it when I go there, if I go there, hopefully. We're going to go see ballet at the Royal Albert Hall. It's like a thing me and my grandma have got into. So it's our little girly trip days, and we're going to London to see it. And we said if we got time, we would go to the Waterstones. So I'm hopefully going to be going in there. That's definitely the top one, Starside. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Guys, I have a few. So I'm going to name a few, and then we're going to talk about the main ones. So we have Daybreak, which is the second one to Nightshade. I've got that pre-ordered. We have Unbound and Bound by Ali Hazelwood. I've got that pre-ordered as well. What else? The Knave and the Moon, the second one to The Night and the Moth. Super excited for that one. The main ones though, we have ACOTAR 6, of course. Like, come on now, I think that's got to be like a lot of people's top one. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it. You do not understand. Like, what? I think A Court of Silver Flames, I think that came out like 5 years ago, I want to say. We've been waiting 5 years for ACOTAR 6, and I'm so incredibly excited because, like I said, I love that set of characters so incredibly much. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited to be back in that world again, with those characters again. It's going to be amazing. My theories for it, I don't know if this is technically spoilers for ACOTAR, so if you haven't read ACOTAR and you are planning to, skip ahead to this point. I'll put it on the screen for you to go to that point. If not, stay with me while I whiz through some theories real quick. So, of course, I want the POV to be Azriel. Obviously, come on now, I want it to be Azriel. Some people though think it could be Tamlin because she hasn't released the title yet, and obviously it's not really that far away when you think about it. So people are thinking maybe she's not releasing the title because she's scared of the backlash that people will most probably say if it is a Tamlin book. If it's a Tamlin book, I think he will be with Elaine. I'm praying. Surely she cannot do a Tamlin over an Azriel though. Surely not. So I want it to be with Azriel. I do not want him to be with Elaine. I just don't see it, guys. I don't see the connection personally. I think they're just two quiet people that have got together because they were the only people there. I do not like them together. No. I want Azriel to either be with Gwyn or someone else entirely, like someone new we don't even know yet. But I think it's likely going to be Gwyn, but I don't mind that. That's fine. Whoever he is with, I want it to be his mate. I don't want it to be someone who isn't his mate. I want it to be his true mate. I think whether it's ACOTAR 6 or ACOTAR 7, because ACOTAR 6 is 350 something pages, whereas ACOTAR 7, I swear it's 900 pages. And she said it's 2 parts. I think we're going to get multiple POVs of different people though. So we'll have an Azriel, and I feel like that storyline will be the main one. But I think we might also see Eris. I love Eris because I think he's misunderstood so much. I think he's built himself up to be this evil character and this evil person for everyone else. But that's to hide the fact that obviously he doesn't like his father. And I think that facade is obviously built in order to hide who he truly is. So I think we could see an Eris redemption arc, and I really hope we do. And I actually hope we get some romance with him. I do think we will eventually get Tamlin, but I don't know. And I think Elaine could actually get a villain story as well. I genuinely really do. So yeah, that's my theories. Anyway, so then the next one is the Once Upon a Broken Heart novella, which is called The Mirror of Infinite Endings. So this is a trilogy by Stephanie Garber, and I absolutely love Evangeline and Jax. I love them together. They're literally so like just the perfect couple. I'm obsessed with them. But I think everyone thought at the end of A Curse of True Love, we all wanted a little bit more of Evangeline and Jax like happily together. So when this novella was announced, obsessed. So I ordered the exclusive edition on Waterstones. When I went to order it, I was like, do I get the regular one or the exclusive one? But I just thought, I love this series so much, let's just go for the exclusive. I'm so glad I did, because we have quite a few like extra things. So this is the cover. I don't know if you can see it so much because the white is really like blinding on the camera, I think. But that's the cover, and it has these insane stained edges. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to zoom in and show you. Stained edges, exclusive cover compared to the others. It's going to be signed, and she, like, if you don't know, for all the books, if you pre-order them, the underneath, like the foiling, there's 4 different like editions of the foiling that you can get, and it's like a surprise one when you open it up. So these are the options you can get. So you can either get a pie that says made with love, a broken heart, a coin that says Jack's gambling den, a hourglass. So I think out of those, I think the best one is I don't know, I think the broken heart one. I think they're all really good though, to be honest, but I think the broken heart one is my favourite just because it just matches the series so well. Like the name is literally Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I think that's my favourite one, but I would be happy with any of them. And then this is also the end paper art for the book. Like, you're joking. You are joking. I'm so excited. Then the third one is it's not exactly a new release because it's Once Upon a Broken Heart, but it's the collector's edition. Guys, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. So this is the casing of it, and it's like both sides. That's just the case, okay? Oh my gosh, that is the art on the end papers. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at that. And the stained edges. Are you actually kidding me? And then there's like even more exclusive things. I'm actually just so excited. I'm so excited to have it on my shelf. It's literally going to be my child, my baby, my prized possession. There will be an unboxing. I'm doing a reading vlog for both ACOTAR 6 and the Once Upon a Broken Heart novella. So stay tuned for those because they'll be so exciting. Moving on. That was a bit long, I'm sorry, but the excitement took over. Okay, biggest surprise of the year. This is God of Malice by Rena Kent. The reason this is the biggest surprise is this is, by the way, a dark romance. Is the first book in the Legacy of God series. It's an interconnected series. Each book follows a different couple. This one follows Glyndon King and Killian Carson. Killian Carson is a true psychopath, like a real one. He doesn't feel emotions the same way as other people do. And he begins to like stalk Glyndon, and you know, a romance kind of develops from that. This surprised me because I have not read many dark romance books, and the ones I have been very mixed. I've read The Cat and Mouse Duet and I enjoyed that. It wasn't like amazing, but I did really like it. But then I read like after that, the ones I've read I hated. So I was just thinking maybe dark romance is not for me. Maybe this genre is not really what I thought. Read this, 6 stars, God tier. Changed my mind because, yeah. So it was a big surprise because I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. And it also introduced me back to the dark romance genre and showed that there is good, like, dark romance books to read. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved the writing style. I liked the romance. The spice was very spicy, but it was good. It wasn't cringe. And yeah, I really liked Killian. He was very protective, very possessive. I liked Glyndon as well. So yeah, everything about this book I really enjoyed. And my favourite thing about it was I literally couldn't put it down. Like, I was addicted to it. And that was the main thing that brought it to 6 stars, because I couldn't stop thinking about it. So yeah. Favourite new author, debut or new to you? So I know I said we're not mentioning the same book, but technically it's not the same book, it's a different book. But that is Lynette Noni. Now, she wrote the Prison Healer trilogy, and I know I've already mentioned that, but there's not really many new authors I've read this year apart from her that like stands out. So I have to mention Lynette Noni. This is Shadow Reaper, and this is the book she brought out this year in June. I read it this month. I was really disappointed by it. I think it was mainly because I don't know whether it's because I went from the high of the Prison Healer trilogy, and so I was expecting like the exact same vibes with this one, and unfortunately I just didn't get it. But like I said, I don't know whether it's because I went into it with like extreme expectations. So it, you know, part of it most probably is me to blame. The second thing, this is more of like a childhood friends to lovers, and personally I'm not a big fan of that trope. So again, not really the book's fault, kind of mine, like preferences and stuff. I enjoyed the writing. I just wasn't as obsessed with the book, with like the romance and the plot and stuff. I thought the magic interest, right. Why can I not form sentences? I thought the romance was a little bit lacking in this one, but again, I think it's just the way it was written. Like, it was a little bit less prevalent than the Prison Healer trilogy, and I think I wanted a little bit more from it. However, that may progress into the second one. But nonetheless, she is still one of my new favourite authors of this year because she gave me the Prison Healer trilogy. So, you know, all can be forgiven. But like I said, it is not a bad book. It just wasn't as good for me. Okay, newest favourite MMC and FMC. Of course, I'm going to say Jared and Kiva from The Prison Healer. However, I'm going to try not to speak about them anymore because I've already spoken about them. But I just have to mention them. Favourite new MMC, I think it has to be Raphael from About A Bargain So Bloody, which I've literally just finished yesterday. 4.5 out of 5. It was so good. So the book is, quickly just going over it, is about Samara, and she is stuck in this prison, and then there she meets Raphael, who turns out to be a vampire, and she helps him break out in order to help her escape the prison. And then they kind of then live their life on the aftermath of that, and obviously there's lots of things going on with the plot and the romance builds, and there's like other things going on. That literally happens in like the first 15 pages of the book, so it's not a spoiler. Yeah, wow. It was my first vampire romance. I have been missing out. Why have I not read any more vampire romances? Because yeah. And they have kind of like something happens where he ends up like feeling her emotions and stuff, and he's extremely protective of her, extremely possessive of her. I love a protective, possessive MMC. It's one of my favourite like tropes in a way. It's not really a trope, but I absolutely love it. And yeah, Raphael is the definition of that. And obviously he's a white-haired MMC, which I know a lot of people really, really like. And so he's a white-haired MMC, a vampire. Samara, I loved her, and you know, she was cool, she was badass, but also like soft as well. I loved the romance, the way it built up, the plot was cool, the side characters was cool, the ending was amazing, and thankfully the second one comes out in 2 weeks, so I don't really have to wait that long for it. However, I went into this thinking it was a duology because I googled it and I was like, how many books is it going to be? And I thought it said 2, and that the second one comes out in 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, cool, this is good, this. Like, I can, you know, get into it. I don't have to wait for ages. I googled it again, and it said there is currently 2 in the series. And not that there was only 2, and there is in fact going to be 4 to 5 books planned. So I've gotten myself into another long series that only has 1 out so far. So that's fantastic, but I am also glad I read it because it was amazing. So yeah, Raphael is definitely my new favourite MMC. As for FMC, I do really like Samara, but I wouldn't say she's like my absolute fave. I think it would have to be Sybil from The Night and the Moth, which is right here, so I'll just take it down. Sybil from The Night and the Moth. This is about, she is a diviner, and these diviners basically kind of dream and make prophecies for like the king and like people who visit their like cathedral monastery, I don't know what it's actually, cathedral. Then the diviners that she's friends with start to go missing, and she goes on a hunt with the knight to try and find her missing friends. And she learns of like lots of new things. She learns of the truths of the cathedral and the world around her and stuff like that. The romance in this one is amazing. It's more of like a subtle romance, but wow. I really like Sybil because she is strong yet vulnerable at the same time, but is like knows that her strength lies with both of them. And I just really liked her development in herself, her confidence, and yeah, I just think she's a really good character that I really enjoyed reading about, and I'm really excited to see her story progress into the second one, which comes out in September. So I'm really excited for that. Next is a book that made you cry, and that is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. This is the third one in the Crescent City series, which obviously I was talking about earlier. This made me cry because of the ending, because it was so sweet, it was so wholesome, and I thought the way Sarah J Maas tied this series together was perfection. I thought it was perfection. It left it on such a good note, such a good way, and I felt like fully satisfied by the way it ended. And yeah, it made me cry because I just thought it was really beautiful ending. And there's a little part at the end, I don't want to tell you what happened, but part of like kind of the resolution at the end I thought was beautiful. The way it was written, it was really, really beautiful. So that is this one. I can't really say too much about it because it is at the end, so it's a big spoiler, but it was a really, really nice read. So for the book that made you happy, I wasn't really sure what to pick, but I ended up going with Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. First of all, I absolutely love this cover. I think it's so pretty. So this is about Viola and Jessie, and they are rival designers on like a video game company, and they have been given the role to create this game, but they are from rival companies, and they have been sent to this like ski resort in order to like team build and make sure that they can actually work together to create this game. Now, Viola thinks that this is unrequited love. She thinks that Jessie hates her, and she just has this foolish crush. So like it's unrequited love that's not actually unrequited because he's obsessed with her. Yeah. So you can imagine the romance, the angst, the scenes in this book was insane. I literally ate this up. It was so entertaining, it's so fast paced. Yeah, and it made me happy because of how good the romance was and the way it was built and stuff. I really enjoyed it. And the smut in this one is really good as well. So yeah, definitely read this one. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I have two because I wasn't really sure what to pick. Obviously my Prison Healer special editions have to be up there, but I didn't want to go through those again. So I have this one, which is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I like this one because I really like the cover design. I think it's really pretty. The art is amazing, and I love the pink border. I don't know why, but it just tickles my pickle. I just love it. Like, I just think it's so pretty. I love the spine, everything about it. I just think it's a beautiful cover. So I thought that has to be up there. And then the only other special edition I bought this year is Phantasma, and I just really like the foiling. I think like the cover is obviously stunning. I think the whole special edition just matches the vibe of the book perfectly. Like, it is like perfect with what happens. We have the stained edges, the back, and then underneath it's nothing special or crazy, but it's just a skull. It's not exactly beautiful, but I also just love the end papers as well. So yeah, that's kind of the only other special edition I've got this year. But I just thought the book, the front is definitely beautiful. Whew, okay, the final book, the final question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I have 4 that I've kind of picked up as books that I would like to read by the end of the year. So I'm just going to quickly go through those. Obviously, a lot of the new releases I want to read this year. So quickly, Starside, Equitar 6, Once Upon a Broken Heart novella, The Night in the Moth, Daybreak, the second book in the Bargain So Deadly, Bleed the Vow. But yeah, so those ones, of course, I want to read. The ones that I actually own though, the first one is A Bunny. I haven't read a thriller in so long. I can't remember the last time I read a thriller. It will have been The Silent Patient, I think. And I read that, I'd say, at least 3-4 years ago. So I haven't read a thriller in that long. So I'd like to read one this year. So I picked Bunny because I find it really intriguing, this one. It's kind of about a girl who gets caught up in a cult and they call each other bunnies. So yeah, and I also love the cover. I don't know why, but it's just really like aesthetically pleasing to me. Like the hot pink with the yellow, I don't know. And I'm also thinking of doing a reading vlog for this one. Which you will see why it is being picked. The second one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is because one of my goals this year is to read 2 classics, and this is also one of the books I picked out for like my yearly TBR. So I want to read this and I want to annotate like each chapter and really like pick it apart and annotate it and stuff. I love English literature. I took it for GCSE and A-level, and I'm doing English at uni for a degree. So I love annotating, I love tabbing and like doing all that and looking at the themes and things. So I'm excited to do that with this book. So this is definitely one I want to read alongside a different classic. I'm thinking maybe like Dracula or The Great Gatsby. I think there's my 2 other ones I might have a look at. The next one is Hands Down by Mariana Zapata, because it is the last book I physically own of hers that I haven't read yet. And then once I read this, I want to do a Mariana Zapata reading guide for you guys. So I want to read this so I can then do that. There is 3 books by her that I haven't read, but I don't intend on reading, so. And then the final book is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, because I just finished Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, and I really enjoyed the writing and the romance, and people said that this is like amazing. Like, it's a lot of people's favorite book of the year, so I'm really excited to read this one, because as well, people said the yearning in this one is like crazy, and one thing about me is I love some yearning, so I'm really excited for this one as well. So those are the 4 that I hopefully will read by the end of the year. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I feel like that went on a little bit longer than I thought, so it might be a bit of a longer video, but hey ho, whatever, it's fine. I just get on a bit of a tangent sometimes with books, and once I start talking, I could literally talk about a book forever, so it can be hard to stop sometimes. But regardless, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought of these books, if you have any differing opinions or if you agree, and let me know some books that maybe you think I should read by the end of the year. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.